Hey everybody, it's Greg and I because why not? And then we have a guest too that we're going to bring in. We're not even going to do the shenanigans of like, let's do it. We're just going to go for it. And for people here, normally for the beforecast, we'll just bring in Matt now for now, and then we'll get the podcast started in a minute. That's Matt, everyone. He's part of the space travel group. He's going to be so lost in all of our like inside joke stuff. He's going to be like, what? I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for space travel. So,
what's wrong with space travel? I think everyone wants to do space travel one day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everyone wants to. All right, look, we're not going to waste a whole bunch of time. A lot of times we go for about 5-10 minutes before we do the stream, but we don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got no time for that. I got a hard out at 3, and you know, whenever we have guests, I try to respect their time. So let's go ahead and get ready to hit this thing going. All right, is everyone ready to hit their records when we do the countdown?
Oh, I already did it. I'm sorry.
He's already did it.
I thought the pre-recording countdown was the countdown.
Oh, no, it's this part coming up.
It's cool. I just hit record. It'll work out.
Okay.
You got it.
All right, well, let's do the countdown anyway, just because that's how we do it.
For the audio listeners, do you want me to do the introduction for Matt, or you want to do that, Travis?
No. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
So, just do the normal intro, and then I'll bring in Matt.
Gotcha.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, record.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0.
Hello, world, and welcome to another jam-packed episode of the Gadget Cast. My name is Gregory McFadden, joined always with my co-host Travis MCP.
Space travel.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put the iJustine one in too, didn't you? I thought you put that in the song.
No,
Greg,
not yet.
Professional ball dropper.
Sorry, I didn't do it yet.
Bro, I'm because you did it last week. Did you just add it on last week?
I did a drop. So,
Greg,
sorry.
I don't understand. I guess everyone's used to it by now. If you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, professional ball dropper Greg is in the house doing it big. We're not going to waste any time though, because we have a jam-packed show we just need to kind of get into it. We're going to bring on a guy that I've been watching for quite a while because I love all things. I was going to say Austin Evans. And if you watch
I'm
any
a big Austin Powers fan,
I would much rather work for Austin Powers.
I think everyone would. This is Matt. Well, oh, look at that. Did you like that? This is Matt. Did you like that?
Yeah. No, that was. For a while that was like my handle and stuff like that. Then I moved away from it just because like I was doing my own thing. But yeah, for the longest time, like, hey, this is Matt. Like, but
so you know the funny thing about this is interesting. When it first came out, I had people in my comment section going, "Hey, there's a new channel called This Is," because in my intro song it says "This Is," and that's what everyone sings in my intro. They're like, "Oh, they got your song in there." I'm like, "Really?" And I look over there, it's it's just called This Is. But This Is a very different show now than it was when it started. I would love to understand why it started off with like an explainer, almost documentary style thing, and now it's almost like a podcast.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's YouTube, right? Like you have to kind of adapt to the flow of what YouTube wants. When I got brought in, it was exactly for that. I always tell a story that like Austin brought me in back in like June of 2018 or whatever. That he flew me out. I'm friends with half the crew. I went to school with them, and so we tested out the format, and we shot like 3 episodes while I was there. Not even like working for the company, just like this like a tester teaser thing. And so we moved on because realistically, no one watched those episodes. Like they took like a week or so between researching. They were all scripted. Very few of our content is scripted. Those were. So like between researching everything, scripting it all out, editing it, like suddenly it was like a week and a half of work for it. And then it's getting like 30,000 views total, which, like that was a little too much for like because you got me working on it, you have an editor working on it, then you have Austin, like, so having 3 people spend that much time on it, it's like, ew. And then we moved over to the podcast format, and that just really worked. Like, I don't know, I got brought on as a co-host, and the channel's really grown since we moved over to that. I do know that we get a lot of people who ask about the old content, but it's you just got to do what works for YouTube, because also those videos were like 3 minutes long, and YouTube just hated that. Like zero impressions whatsoever. So yeah,
it's rough out there in these YouTube streets, as I always like to say. I think it's I think the important thing to understand as viewers of YouTube is that these sort of things happen, where you're starting to do something that you think is going to work, and then it just doesn't catch on for whatever reason, and these changes happen. And it's not something that a lot of channels take lightly. A lot of times we agonize over it when we pivot or do anything like that. So I know personally I've had to do that. It's going to be a really agonizing thing, and it almost feels like it's kind of your baby at this point, Matt. They kind of put it on you. It comes across that way from the viewer perspective.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, I was brought on to create this channel. And so from day one, I've been the one behind the scenes nurturing it and helping it grow and stuff like that. Obviously Austin owns the channel, but it's, I don't
know. Does he? I mean, I think it's all Matt's channel now. If you need
that's
any
there are people who think that it's my channel, but I'm like, no, it's like see how Austin's the host of everything. I'm the host of some things. But yeah, I don't know, that's my whole job working for Austin is to run this channel. And so sometimes I work on the main channel side, but that's more like helping out on stuff. But yeah.
So actually, Greg and I have been over to that building before, for the same reason, actually. So Greg was flown in there to Jomo when he lost 1 billion pounds from using the Apple Watch, right? When
1 billion pounds. That's
1 billion pounds.
That's the precise.
Let me know your secret, because I've been trying that. It has, as you can see, it hasn't worked yet.
Lots of walking, make sure those move rings being filled.
I got a story about that. I started running.
Yeah.
And a month into running, this actually happened 1 month ago today. I tore my MCL.
Ooh.
I'm finally getting into I'm getting into a rhythm. I'm getting healthy, and then it's just nope.
Oof.
So yeah.
Oh man, that kind of happened to me. I fell on a run, and then it was awful. I got injured for a month, and I was like,
that's terrible.
Health injuries.
So Matt, he went out there, and then Jonathan did a video with him about the Apple Watch and the weight loss, and then I was out there maybe 8 or 9 months after that or so, as he was shooting the now infamous iPad Pro review that never came out.
Still waiting for it.
Yeah, I was there that weekend, which was cool. I actually got to stay there in the building. That barbecue place was legit, and that little retro arcade place I loved. Is it still open? Is that I guess it isn't open, but is it still functioning as far as from a business perspective?
Yeah. And fun fact about that place, that's where we shot the very first This Is.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah, so it had just opened when it wasn't even actually open to the public yet when we were filming that. It was about Polybius, the arcade game.
Oh, and, I remember that. Yeah.
So we shot it in there. But that place is really cool. Gus's barbecue.
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
bro. I would never lose any kind of weight. And then you have the soft serve right down the street. You got all types of cool stuff. That is the one place ever that I've ever visited in my life that I actually was I would actually move here. It's this little paradise,
That's exactly where I live.
I mean, it is. Oh my God.
A mile away from that building. I walk to work most days. That's why I moved. I didn't want to move to LA.
Yeah,
I moved to our area,
which is amazing. It's such a beautiful area. I had a blast when we were out there, and I think anyone who's ever been in that area knows that when pre-COVID, it was just this cool vibe, this kind of laid-back place. You'll see Jonathan Morrison shoot there. You'll see, of course, Austin Evans shoot there. You'll see who else shoots outside that's in that building? Because I know there's
Well, it used to be J2
Right.
So he has since moved.
Oh,
So he got his own building. Not that like 9 months ago, I think.
Mhm.
And then John Rettinger was there for a little while. Kevin Kenson was around there for a little while.
Mhm.
And then I'm trying to think. I'm blanking on his name. As Trevor Wallace does like this. He's like a sketch comedian on YouTube. Does a lot of like AirPod Pros, AirPod
Oh
Pros.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's done a couple things with Jonathan over there.
Mhm.
Crystal is over there. Yeah, so it's like this cool think tank of creators all in one area, which hasn't been really the case because most people have been working from home. But yeah,
Yeah, funny you say that because Greg and I were talking about this privately offline about just wishing that we were. By the way, Greg, you realize you're out of focus, right? Like you're
Now I do.
your mic is in focus and you've been out of focus the entire time. Anyway, what were you talking about? Like, so Greg lives in New Jersey somewhere in the
I'm
bowels
sorry.
of New Jersey.
Don't be sorry. Why?
He likes it. I'm like,
Are you crazy?
I've been to New Jersey.
Best.
I'm not impressed.
New Jersey.
As a upstate New York native, New Jersey's just like
It's Junior New York.
Because you're from upstate New York. I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
let's not get into a geographical warfare on the Gadget Cast. But I like Jersey. I like North Jersey. I think people who live in like New York City are pretty crazy, and a lot of the creator community in New York City is like fleeing New York City now. And I live in somewhere in North Jersey. I'm very close to the city. It's a train ride away. So from the way I see it, it's a cheaper living situation over here. I got all the advantages of being close to New York City. And, we got like good pizza. So it all works out for me.
And I'm in Seattle. There's only a couple of people out this direction. And we were talking about, wouldn't it be cool if, back in the day, and to a certain degree in some of the niches, there's these like creator houses, or at the very least, like it is kind of over there in your building, or at least it was at one point, where there's a lot of creators in one little space where all types of really cool creative things can happen. And, especially with COVID, but in general, it's kind of difficult to get that going now. And I wonder if after all this is kind of cleared up, if we'll ever see things like that again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because we do see like pockets of it, but then you look at like Sarah Dici, who's one of the New York natives well, not native, but she was based out of New York for a while. She just moved, but she's also building a creative space for herself and potentially others. So you do start to see like glimpses of that moving forward again. I'll say that like from our perspective, for the most part, we haven't, like, our editors have worked from home, but us production staff have really been in the office pretty much every day, because the shooting, trying to shoot all of this stuff remotely just didn't work for us. And so like, I barely felt any different this past year when it comes to the work aspect of things. We still, we're still there together. We're still being creative and bouncing ideas off each other in person. So I don't know. Like I would love to see more things happen. We had a series of game shows that we were doing, and I have like a list a mile long of like what I would want to do if we're in person with the game show, that just, don't work if we're trying to do things remote. But yes, I would, we have to see how things go, and not to be like all COVID-y, but like, I'm glad that there's vaccines that are rolling out. The Johnson & Johnson one just got approved. So that's just a huge number of increase. So yeah.
Yeah, Greg and I are hoping. Well, actually, Greg and I have never met in person. We were hoping to have done that at CES this past year, but of course, that was not a thing. So maybe next year, hoping that things get a lot better.
So I found out late, after the fact, that I got COVID at CES last year.
Yikes!
Yeah, so it's everyone says the CES sickness, that like everyone's got the CES flu or whatever.
Yeah.
I got sick like the last day of CES, and we were shooting a This Is on it, and you could just see my like energy, like you could see me just like pew, the entire video. And then I was sick for like 2 weeks, and we're just like, oh man, this is a really bad flu. And that's all before COVID really was a thing. And then I did like the antibody test later on and found out that yes, I did have COVID at that time.
Thanks.
But that was like, yeah, so I miss CES, but I don't miss that sickness.
No doubt. I actually just remembered that I bumped into you guys, your entire team, twice at CES at the MGM. I stayed at the MGM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Rettinger was over there talking to you guys, and I was walking through. I think me and Jason
Once with Nellis too, right?
Yeah, Nellis was in the. So I guess that was 3 times then, because I was Nellis at the actual event. Then it was twice in the hotel at MGM. Once with my friend Jeff from El Jefe Reviews, and then probably another time with Jason from Pain for Giannis Tech, because we were all hanging out. It was so cool to just be able to bump into people and talk to people, and God, I missed that so much. Greg hasn't experienced that yet. I'm really interested, Greg. I don't know how you are like in person, like if you like people in person. I'm pretty sure you don't, right? So you love the online. Yeah, most people don't.
Leave me alone.
I can't wait to see you like in a social environment. Like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Everyone's gonna be social. I'm be in the corner. Go, oh, hey. So that'll be me. If we ever go to like a social event, I'm really not. I'm very introverted. I'm surprised I can even get in front of the camera sometimes. But yeah, no, in real life, like if you ever met me, I'm very, very quiet. I'm very in my own headspace. So I don't know. Maybe I could turn it on if I met like a bunch of other people. Maybe the excitement would bring it out. It would be interesting. I would try my hardest to do that, because I know like, oh, if people want to talk, people want to be interested. Networking, I can turn it on, but like if I'm just like at home and relaxing, I am pretty quiet. So it would be an interesting scenario to meet up with Travis, who I think is more extroverted.
Well, at times I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends. I was extroverted with my creator friends and stuff like that. Was fun because there's just because it's the people that I've either talked to or collabed with, and then we got to hang out, and there's just something cool about that. Your entire group, Matt, like over there at Overclock, just seems like a fun group of people. Like, is that something that makes it enjoyable, or do you actually like this one guy, man? Everyone except for him.
No, it's like it's great because like
how much do you hate Austin Evans? Let's hear the.
Let's hear the scoop. Let's get
totally. I do want to. Like, there's so many times I just want to like shake Austin, because like a big part of my job is just like keeping him on track. And Austin just like all over the place. Like, he's very good at getting everything done, but he always needs that nudge. So I'm just like, Austin, no, we need to watch this video. Austin, no, we need to go do this. Like, but yeah, it's a great group. And like I said, I went to school with half of them, which is actually how like I got the job to begin with. So fun fact, I used to be a college professor.
Hey now.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
what?
I went to school for like I went and get a master's degree, because I apparently make terrible decisions. Like, who needs a master's degree in film? But so like while I was doing that, the school was like, "Hey, can you teach a couple classes?" And I'm like, "All right, yeah, sure. Money's money." And then I just ended up being I did that for like 6 years. But I was actually Ken's teacher at one point. and now I work for him. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, like so that was just, it was weird, but like it's like I said, I worked with all these, like Wes who does our lighting color. I worked on a dozen projects with him over the course of that time. Josh, one of our editors, I worked on. He was actually one of my students as well. So like it just, yeah, it makes it easy. So like the two odd men out are Austin and Jimmy, who is our main editor for This Is. So, yeah.
So what? That's hilarious. One thing that I've noticed about both channels, and I try not to let this stuff bother me, because in my own videos sometimes there's shenanigans going on, but I'm trying to figure out sometimes which videos are more recent, because every once in a while you'll either be bald or have hair. And then Ken the other day had, he had his like fake mullet, and then he had like, I didn't realize it was him. I'm like, wait a minute, who is that guy? I'm like,
was that the eBay Etsy? Yeah, okay. So the eBay Etsy video was shot over like a solid 6 months. So we shot like the first half of that, realized like, I don't know if this is really a video. And then we did the eBay part, which took so long to get stuff because of like, between it was over like the holidays and then parts weren't available. And then there's a custom aspect of it. So like we shot like the first half of that in like, I think September.
Wow.
Or like, yeah. So, that was like there's that this is stuff we mostly shoot those like a week in advance. I'll be honest with you, my hair just grows really fast.
Dang.
I do shave my head and then I'll have a full head of hair later that week. So that is but
jeez. Well, Greg always looks the same, and I, depending on how lazy I'm about shaving my face, I might look a little different. Greg, I've never seen you. Can you grow facial hair? I'm just curious.
Oh no, I cannot. I cannot grow facial hair. Like I get like this neck beard, and it like that's about it. Like nothing grows up here. Yeah, but you got the stash going like here. I can't grow that.
My friend affectionately tells me I have the anti-Hitler.
Yeah, you got the reverse Hitler.
So like if me and Hitler kissed, we'd have a full mustache.
That's one way to do it. Remember those clips we were talking about, Greg, earlier?
Words that shouldn't be said. I don't know if we'll clip that one. I feel we got to get that out of existence. That phrase. I don't even want.
Sorry to make you editing job.
I don't even want to say who you wanted to kiss. I don't know. I feel like I can't even say it. But listen, I think you got the most anti-fascist mustache I've ever seen. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I think it's the most anti-fascist, and I think it says a lot. I think your facial hair says a lot about your character. So there you go. I can't grow that stash. I can't do anything up there. So
this is like
I usually shave
several months for me. So
yeah, I never let it get that far. I wonder how it would look if I was like a month, but like after like a couple days, I'm like, this is itchy. This is annoying. Let me shave. Yeah. But then I also hate shaving, and I'm just like, I don't want to shave. I'm gonna cut myself. I have like very sensitive skin, so it's just like, I got a rash now. Great. So I'm just
I get the redness. So
yeah, I don't like
beards. Cover up that.
Yeah, I got the redness everywhere. I don't like beards. I don't like shaving. I like to say my life is just misery at this point.
I mean, I could relate to that.
Okay, I'm gonna.
619 has a good suggestion. He says, you kiss Charlie Chaplin, and I think
I kiss Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. I'll edit. Go ahead.
So if me and Charlie Chaplin ever were to kiss,
there you go.
We'd have one full mustache.
Perfect.
That's one way to look at it. He nailed it. That was perfect. Okay, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna regret this, although I might not, because Matt and I have been talking quite a bit here. I know, and I don't like to leave Greg out. Greg does a good job of carrying the show when we don't have guests. Sometimes I'm on it when guests are here. So now, here we go. I may regret this, but let's go ahead and let's talk about Pokemon because Greg has been waiting for that, and it's one of those things. So let's go ahead and talk about Pokemon.
I brought something for you, Greg.
Okay, I'm excited to see it. It's Pokemon's 25th anniversary, if you can believe it. Pokemon's been around for a long time. They've been posting nostalgic tweets, and I've just been all in my feels all week, and I've been very sad now. But what are you going to show me, Matt? What do we got?
So, I haven't been. I'm told you getting into the cards. I haven't gotten into the cards as much. I opened up some yesterday, but we got a bunch of packs from Wish.
Okay.
And I want to show you my best pull from Wish.com.
Let's see. Okay.
I got my Caterpie EX Blastoise.
I don't even know what that is. Caterpie EX Blastoise. Is that
completely
good?
No, it's just like completely knockoff Wish cards.
Is it? Yeah. It's not. It's a Caterpie and it's a Blastoise. Like they didn't even get the name right.
Yeah, like there's all sorts of typos on these things. So here's Magnerton instead of Magnetron. So I was told that you like the cards, so I decided to have those ready for you.
I I kind of like that. I should kind of get some packs off Wish. That's pretty funny. I should go get some packs. See what I unbox for myself. But
I'll give you spoilers. It didn't even have like the right amount of cards in them.
Oh,
like there's like 5 cards in each pack.
Well, I'll never forget going to Chinatown, and that's a place in New York City, and they have a lot of shops outside and stuff like that. And we saw Pokemon packs, like, I wasn't sure, like, are these legitimate or not? They were like priced around the same price. I'm like, maybe these are legitimate. Let me take a chance on these. Whew. Open up the pack. It's like the whole pack is like holographic rare cards. I'm like, this is the fakest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Normally, if you open like Pokemon card packs, like, you're lucky if you get like one holographic card, and that's about it. And it was like full holographics, like the rarest cards you've ever seen. And I'm just like, sadness. And it's like, you can't go back there and like argue with them and be like, hey, this is fake, give me my money back. So you just kind of accept your loss.
I bet you those are the same packs that are on Wish.
They probably are, to be honest with you.
Now, like, have you been like a big collector, like in general?
No. So I collected them back in the day. I actually have all my like original. Oh my God, the green screen effect. I can't. I have all my original cards here. So these are like really old. What are these? 1996. These cards, 1995 era of like Wizards of the Coast, the original set. And I collected them back in the day, and then I recently like started like looking up like videos about like people like opening cards again, and I've been wanting to get back into it. So I'm kind of on the cusp of like, should I invest a ton of money into like getting packs? So I'm like right there in that moment. I'm like, I kind of want to get back into this. This is like part of my childhood. I really enjoyed it back then. I stopped doing it because I'm like, this is a waste of money. Now I go check like the value on some of my older cards. I'm like, holy moly, these are worth a pretty penny. Maybe I should just start collecting them again.
That's how I was. I keep asking my mom, because I've moved away, I'm across the country, and I keep asking her like, hey, do you know if I kept any of these? Like, because I would throw stuff away and then she would just put them in a box later. But like, there's cards I know I had that would be worth like, even at like moderate condition, a decent amount. And I'm just like, I can't go look. You're in New York. Like, maybe if you look for those, we might get a couple $100 on here. But I was the same way. Like, I stopped like when what is it? Like Fossil came out, the expansion pack.
Yeah. So this is one of the rarest cards I had. I actually posted this on Twitter and found out it was rare. So this is a Jolteon, and it's supposed to have, where is it? I think my Vaporeon has it too. It's supposed to have this little symbol right here on there.
Yeah.
Little symbol in the corner. These don't have it. And apparently that's really rare. Like it's
like the shadowless one.
Yeah, I think I forget the term for it. There's shadows and all this stuff, but it's basically supposed to have that symbol in the corner because that's the set it's from. And because it doesn't have that symbol, it's a misprint, but that misprint is worth like a lot of money. And I was like looking on eBay, and we're talking like, I don't know, like if eBay prices, or I was looking at like different like sites. It depends, but like people had it up on eBay for like $5,000 or plus that. So it was like pretty ridiculous. Go ahead.
What I've been doing is the other side, because Austin is super into it. He buys packs daily. He's like going to Walmart at 6 a.m. to open packs. I went with him one day and just bought a bunch of packs, and I have a safe right next to me that I just have like a couple boxes of unopened booster packs. I'm gonna let those marinate for a few years. See what, like. I just saw Logan Paul spend $1 million on a box. All right.
What?
Like,
yep.
Yeah.
What?
He opened like a first edition booster, like a box of boosters. It was like $1 million from like 96 or whatever.
Bro.
So I'm just gonna let those stew, let them just collect some money on that. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, I wish I knew that. I would have just sealed up some packs, be like that. Yeah, I was thinking about buying some like original like booster packs, and I was like, how much do these go for like sealed? And it's like $700 for one pack. If you want like the whole thing, you're looking at like $30,000. And I'm like, oh man, I need to make a ton of money so I could just buy a pack of this one day, and I could, I'll do the Logan Paul thing and be a millionaire.
Well, then he pulled a first edition Charizard, so it's all worth it.
Come on, what?
I feel like it was staged, but
I think it's fake. Yeah, there's no way he pulled a first edition.
Coming from Logan Paul, it's got to be staged.
Yeah, they're probably cards. They're probably all like fake. I want a full investigation into this Logan Paul business. Gadget Cast fans, I want the full investigation. Take screenshots. Send me your conspiracy theories. I want to see them.
Someone's gonna be doing like scanning on those. Like,
someone asked me the other day on Twitter. It's like, because I posted something about Pokemon. They're like, "Are you gonna watch the Logan Paul thing?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Do you know he's like opening like a box virtual Pokemon cards?" I'm like, "No, I'm still not watching it." But now I think I am gonna go watch it, and I'm gonna make a conspiracy theory video. I'm gonna call him out just for fun. See what happens. Maybe it'll be like. Did you guys see the other day Linus Tech Tips called out?
Yeah. Yeah, I was epic.
Where and Soldier Boy responds like,
which is crazy.
We're like, we got to get a boxing match between those two.
Yeah, Austin. Yep, that was great. But yeah, I used to have. This is a tragic story. I used to have like the full set of all the original cards, which is like this is still like my childhood binder. Someone stole like a couple cards from me. No. I had my Charizard stolen. Like, Charizard is like the rarest card, Travis.
What?
You have a Charizard back in the day? You were no.
A hollow Charizard.
Hollow Charizard.
Like, I got dates because of a hollow Charizard.
Yeah.
I was about to ask that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, just like in fourth grade or whatever, just like, hey, girl, do you want to go to the sock hop? I got a hollow Charizard.
Boom.
And bam. Girls lining up.
Just you had to knock them away with a stick. Got the broom.
That did not happen at all.
I had parts of my collection stolen, so it makes me like sad every time I kind of look at this. I was actually like considering like I should like try and like restore this collection into like its former glory. But then every time I look at like the price of like a hollow Charizard online, I just get like that's a lot of money.
They do have the newer version of those. Which is, Evolutions.
I don't want the Evolutions one. Although those are cool. I wish I like got into collecting them like during that, because I would have been like a huge nostalgia trip. But I like missed out on it. And I was like, oh.
That's what like my problem is. I'm like an addict when it comes to collecting things. So if I start something new, like God forbid I ever get into Funko Pops, because it's over. This 1965, the sock hop. Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. I mean, I actually wouldn't be terribly surprised if Greg bought one anyway, because if you know anything about Greg and some of the things he's bought, I mean, at least he'll tell you that $1,000 stand for a monitor he doesn't own.
That was a good video.
Was for a good video, but that was just a losing proposition. I still to this day. I don't know. I can't get on board with that.
See, no, I get on board with that. If it's a good video, $1,000 stand is. If you do it for the content, man.
It was debatable. You'll have to watch it.
It wasn't that good. Look, I found the Magneton, so that's how it's supposed to be spelled. So we got the original.
Yeah, Magneton. The original and the not original.
It's like a genuine Sony versus a genuine Sorny.
Now, Matt, did you do any of the McDonald's Pokemon cards?
That is the safe.
I wasn't joking.
I was like, listen, I'm like, what's that beep? And then I was like, it like hit me, and then it's like, oh my god, he does have the safe. That wasn't a joke.
To be fair, I didn't buy the safe for this. It was we did like a video on like buying like every Amazon product. There's like an Amazon basic one. But yeah, I got a few of the McDonald's.
You just talked about that last week, didn't you? Didn't you, Greg?
Yeah.
You were talking about.
Yes, I have eaten a lot of Happy Meals in like the past 2 weeks. I'm not, it's not something I'm proud of. Going to the same McDonald's over and over, seeing the same people, getting multiple Happy Meals every time. So I ate a lot. I completed the whole set for the non-holo cards.
Oh yeah.
I think I need like 7 more for holographic, and I would complete that.
I was trying to get like the box art collection.
Okay.
But no, I went to like maybe like 6 McDonald's in my immediate area. None of them have box number 3. So
Which one have one 3? Which color?
I don't know, because actually the colors are like,
are they different?
Yeah. But so I have 1, 2, and like 24s. But the thing, they won't not give you a drink when you get a Happy Meal. So I always just ask for waters. So like my car is just, I have like a 24 pack of Dasani waters in my car that are all just from Happy Meals.
Man, I'll tell you. Listen, I don't know nothing about what you guys are talking about, and I'm happy to be able to say that. Let's move to the next thing. I know you guys listen. If you guys can exchange, okay, fine.
I have I've said on podcasts before, I have a lot of anxiety. I don't like doing like custom orders and stuff. Like I don't want to like ask someone to go out of their way for stuff. So when we were doing like this Pokemon hunt for stuff, I sent my fiance in the McDonald's. Talk about drinks. She got like the hookup. She walked out of there with like a large coffee in the Happy Meal and like a milkshake. I'm like, how'd you do that?
What?
Like, she's like, yeah, you just ask for it, and they'll do like a little upcharge, but you get like the milkshake, you get the coffee and everything. And I'm like, what? Like here I was like getting like Dasani waters, apple juices, chocolate milk. She just walks out with like a full meal. She got like the medium-sized fries in the Happy Meal. It was no longer a Happy Meal. It was a full McDonald's meal. So apparently you can do that. I'd be too nervous to ask that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, speaking of McDonald's, so normally we don't do the chat questions during the actual recording of the podcast, but because you guys did a video on a subject like this, you talked about a couple of weeks ago, where you guys had you ranked all the fast food restaurants, which I tweeted at Matt because I'm like, come on, bro. Like I literally, first of all, I love the episode. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't agree with everything. So 619 just asked, just speaking of McDonald's, fave and least favorite thing on their menu, just because you guys are talking about McDonald's. I'll start. My favorite thing is probably their Big Mac. I don't know if I have a least favorite thing, but the one thing that I don't really care for, even though I would eat it if it was offered to me, are their fries, which I know is controversial, but I don't really care. Nothing for me. What about you, Greg?
I'm a Big Mac fan, but like the whole menu, I think I gotta go McGriddle. I'm a big McGriddle fan.
Yeah, I love McGriddle. That's
McGriddle. That's top for me.
Good call. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I'm going with McGriddle as well.
Hell yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, the sausage McMuffin is my least favorite. I like the egg McMuffin, whatever their English muffin, I just don't like.
Yeah.
When you can get a McGriddle and it's like you're faced with the choices of a McGriddle and a sausage egg McMuffin, whoever is ordering the sausage egg McMuffin, what are you doing? There's literally a sandwich that's made out of pancakes there. Why aren't you ordering that? That's
totally
so much better.
Yeah, I am in 100% agreement there.
Yeah, that is S tier on the McDonald's tier of food for sure. I 100% agree with that.
There's a couple.
I just want to know when McDonald's breakfast got so expensive.
Bro,
I grabbed breakfast for me and Ken. Like we had like an early morning shoot. It was like $25 for 2 of us.
Good Lord.
What?
Yeah. It was like,
did you order?
It was like a couple McGriddles, a couple hash browns, and a couple drinks. It was really expensive.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we got to cancel the Everyday Dad now.
Oh, what? He would be into the sausage muffin. I don't know why. I just picture Gary ordering sausage McMuffins. Gary, get the McGriddle. Your life will be so much better.
Gary walks like miles every day and stuff. So like, I can't hate on him too much. He's probably doing the right thing. But Gary, come on. If you're walking all those miles, at least make it worth your time.
He eats pizza. He's not afraid to eat a McGriddle.
But if you're going to McDonald's, haven't you already decided to be unhealthy?
Gary used to be a heavier guy. So, he's from my school of thought. You got to get them, get a McGriddle every once in a while. And a McFlurry and a milkshake.
McFlurry, baby, yeah.
McFlurry's high up there on the list for me. When they had that, I don't think they still have it. When they did like the international thing, the Stroop Waffle McFlurry, that thing was
what?
Stroop Waffle McFlurry. I think they did that like a year ago.
I don't know what that is.
What?
That's the whole reason I fly United is because they got Stroop waffles.
What? What is a Stroop waffle?
So good.
It's like it's like a little like super thin like waffle sandwich.
Yeah. It's like a
What?
thin waffle sandwich. It's so sweet and like
Got
crunchy.
like caramel like filling.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Where do
It's
you
so
get it
good.
from?
I don't know. The only place I've ever had it was on United Airlines.
I
Oh my
think you can get I think they're called like Belgian Topper or something like that. They like sell like a version of it like at Costco, and it's like similar. So if you have a Costco, try and find it there. But they did a Stroop waffle McFlurry, and they basically threw all that thing into the McFlurry. That thing was so good. They should keep that permanent. But if not, M&M over the Oreo. You know.
Whoa, Greg!
Yeah.
I thought we were bonding here.
No, that's Oreo McFlurry. You know, like the M&Ms.
I love M&M's and
I think the
McFlurry.
Oreo is just classic.
Oreo with M&M's. Hello, you do both. What are you guys talking about?
I'm not, as I said before, I'm not doing any customized orders here. I'm not asking for both. I'm not going to be like, hey, can you give me an Oreo McFlurry and throw some M&Ms in there? Nah, it's too much.
Well, so
Every
I have
time.
You do
I have
that
the
every
controversial
time?
thing.
What?
Yes. What do you mean? Why are you laughing? Why would I have it any other way? I don't understand your confusion by this. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
I can't.
I have that same like anxiety of like ordering
Yeah.
like custom orders, but at the same time I hate condiments so much, which I know is unpopular. So I always have to ask for things plain, and I just have to stress like plain, just cheese, nothing else on it. And
You
it's
are
such,
that guy.
It gives me like a heart attack every time. It's like, please don't put ketchup and pickles on and onions on this thing.
You get nervous when you open the thing, right? You're like, oh my God, I don't want to see the ketchup on there.
It's crazy how often I just get I'm ordering the least amount of thing, like, and then just like stacked up with like extra pickles. I'm like, how is that what you interpreted as my order?
Bro,
But
no good.
yeah,
Since
Fast
Matt
food.
the guest, I'm not going to rip him for his condiments take, but I love condiments. My problem
Yeah,
is like order like all the condiments on mine, and then it's like except mayo. I don't like mayo. Forget that.
I hate mayo until you call it aioli, which is just fancy mayo. I don't know what kind of black magic sorcery is happening there, but as soon as it's aioli, I like it. I don't know.
That's hilarious. I love mayo, especially if you like mix it with ketchup, depending on what you're putting in it, like for a burger or fries. I think that's the way to go. That or honey mustard's good. That's really what it is.
Speaking of food, I finally had the Little Caesars pretzel crust pizza. I had to go out of my way to find a Little Caesars in New Jersey. I went to a pretty sketchy area of New Jersey to pick it up, and you know what? For $6, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. For $6, obviously you get a better pizza here from like any of these Italian places, but you know, for fast food, $6 pizza, pretzel crust, I give it a recommendation. I think it's better than Domino's. That's my review of it. Which
Interesting.
isn't saying much, but
Well, what was Domino's? What was Domino's on the list? Do you remember, Matt? It was too high, I think.
No.
I believe I remember it
it
being.
for me.
Okay. No, listen. This I remember this. I was so frustrated by this.
Here is my ritual every week for at least the next year. Friday night, I leave work. I go to Domino's. I get a sandwich, which is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. The sandwiches are good.
I get a medium pizza because I got the coupons. Just $5.99 each. I grab that. I have a couple slices of pizza. I eat my sandwich, and I watch whatever's on Disney Plus that week for like whether it's Mandalorian, whether it's WandaVision, and we got something coming for the next year on that. So that is my go-to ritual. I remember when Domino's. What
is that Friday night?
Friday night they have something releasing Friday night for the next year.
So that is your Friday night kind of deal. That's what, if you were in the California area, drove by, you would see Matt walking to the Domino's.
Yep.
About ready to pick up this thing to go see his Disney. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Mm.
I might shift it over to Thursday nights because I can't trust Twitter to not spoil things.
True point.
Do they not have good pizza in upstate New York either? I'm so confused.
Upstate New York has great pizza.
From the East Coast.
I live in California now.
Domino's.
They don't have good pizza.
See, that's why the Domino's is so high on the list because he's in California now. You know.
That's fair. That's
Well,
fair.
Travis,
That's
you're
what
not
it
there.
is.
You're in Washington. They don't got good pizza over there.
But that's what I'm saying. We only have like okay pizza, but I know enough to not put it. I understand with the sandwich comment. I can't even really argue that. Like, yeah, their sandwiches are pretty darn good. But having said that, ever putting Domino's in A tier with some of these other ones that I was frustrated.
Let me take you to Bianco Mano's in Hoboken. We'll get you guys a real sandwich. You guys will be like, oh my god.
That's what I miss. I miss like East Coast pizza places so much.
Oh, it's so
I miss
good.
getting pizza with little pizzas as the topping. That was like a very common thing.
Yeah.
Like
I know, yeah.
You'd go and be like this big pizza, and then there'd just be little ones on top of it.
Yep. Wow.
That's
But-
insane.
Yeah. That and bagels. I miss bagels.
Well, but yeah, bagels are a specialty on the East Coast. And actually, the other thing is, what is it? Dunkin' Donuts is big over there. We don't even have Dunkin' Donuts out here. It's all Starbucks out this way, and it's not even the same thing. So when I was in Boston a couple of years ago for work, I am from Delaware. I was born in Delaware, so they had Dunkin' Donuts, when I was growing up, but it wasn't what it is today. Like, it's definitely thought of as this kind of Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts thing, which I am still confused by. So I was like, let me go to Dunkin' Donuts to see what's what. Apparently, you don't go to Dunkin' Donuts for donuts. I guess that's the thing, which confused me.
I remember when they used to make their like fresh donuts.
Used to be good. Good.
Like and they were really good donuts. And then they stopped making them in house, and they would just like ship them like frozen and then reheated, and it was a huge downgrade for that. But yeah, like people go to Dunkin' for like the sandwiches and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, what? Why don't they call it Dunkin' sandwiches or Dunkin' coffee or whatever? And I don't know. I don't drink coffee, so I couldn't even like drink the coffee to tell you whether or not it was any better than Starbucks, because I don't really care about that. But very confused.
I'm the same way. I don't drink coffee.
I drink so much coffee, so I could settle this argument. I like Dunkin' Donuts coffee better. I don't know. It's like a lighter coffee. Starbucks always tastes like burnt and not in like a good way. Both of their coffees are probably like pretty bad though. Like if you just make it yourself, but I'd go Dunkin' if I'm going for like just a regular coffee. But if you're going for like some of the more fancy drinks, I'd say Starbucks has them beat. But just plain old coffee, Dunkin' Donuts.
I mean, the only one I ever really got into was ice caps from Tim Horton. But I don't think either of you guys have Tim Hortons.
No. I've heard of it. I'd like to try it sometime.
That was a Canadian thing, but then there's like you'd have it on the borders of so like I was like a upstate. I was like a 2-hour drive to Toronto, so there was a lot of Tim Hortons by me. But
yeah, I never had one of those. And Cracker Barrel, we don't have either. Well, I guess there is a Cracker Barrel somewhere around. I want to check it out sometime. But yeah, I haven't had any of those.
Just Cracker Barrel, you need to schedule an appointment with your doctor the next day because your cholesterol is going to skyrocket. It's delicious, but man.
Man, talking about the fast food cast. Yeah, so let's
you got 3 guys on here who clearly like food a lot because we just spent a lot of time talking about food on a tech podcast. So.
That's okay. But listen, it's Gadget Cast. We talk about everything.
When I went over to see Jomo, you guys were talking about all these places to eat. I wasn't there that long. I was only there for like 1 or 2 days, but I was like, I need to try In-N-Out. I've never had it in my life. I need to try In-N-Out. I always hear about it. And I got to say, it was pretty good. Like In-N-Out burger is pretty good, especially for like the price you're paying for them. Like I think Five Guys is ultimately the better burger.
Yes,
but, like, you look at the price of an In-N-Out burger, like that's a good burger for the money. Like I was very
The problem is there's always 20 cars ahead of you in the drive-thru. That's like I very rarely eat at In-N-Out because I never want to wait that long for In-N-Out.
Yeah, I went to when I was in California one time. I did try In-N-Out, and I was like, it's all right. But I think I went in with high expectations because everyone was like, "Oh, you should gotta try In-N-Out." I was like, "All right, I'll try it."
They made sure to set my expectations in check. They're like, "Don't expect like miracle, but like look at the price. It's a good burger for the price."
Yeah,
you know what? It's like it is a good burger.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that. Okay, let's real quick for the last segment here. Let's talk a little bit about. I just saw you guys posted another video on this is I think today. So real quick talk about.
I haven't even looked at that video. How that doing?
Yeah, it's a good subject too because ironically, some of the things that were said in that video are things that I said in a video I shot yesterday. that will be released maybe this week, where we're talking about the iPhone 12 mini not selling well, not actually impacting a 13 mini. Oh, see, and I do, and I know you guys started talking about that it's the best form factor, and I know Greg likes it, so I'd love to hear. Do you still feel that way, Greg? After all this time, do you still like the 12 mini?
Yeah, it's my favorite out of the new iPhones. I really do love the form factor.
Yeah, same. Everyone was saying that oh, it's too small, you won't be able to watch any content, or you're not going to be able to type on the screen because it's so small. But people forget that this is actually still bigger than what the iPhone 3 and all the this is huge compared to the first few iPhones, which is what I used.
Yeah.
So I love this thing. I hate big phones. And I would if they do end up killing off that form factor, I'm going to be really upset because I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we should at least get it for one more round at the very least.
There's no way we won't, because they're not going to just kill it after 1 year of trying it. It's that's why in our video, what I had said was worst case is what they do is they just make the mini the new SE, and then put in they just change out the processor for a couple for a generation or two, and that because what they ultimately did is they ordered way too many of these bodies, and they didn't sell all the bodies that they were going to have that they thought they were going to sell. But
weirdly, I saw that even though we're hearing all these rumors about it not selling well, I think it was still in the top 10 of all phones sold or something in the last half of 2020.
That's the power of iPhone.
100%.
Yeah.
The mini might survive. I mean, we don't have the same data as Apple does. If it's all new sales from people who just wanted a smaller phone, and that opened up, if you look at next year's, obviously the 12 was predicted to be a super cycle. But if you look at the 13 and it sells the same amount, and iPhone sales are still up when they should be going down, that might just be oh, this is a mature market. We can have this mini product in here. And even if it isn't the bestseller, if it's still in this top 20, I mean, that's a lot of smartphones still. And it might be worthwhile for Apple to just keep it in the lineup. I
agree with you there. I have a theory on why the mini didn't sell well.
Me too. Is it the same? Let's hear it.
So my theory is that it was because stores were closed. So when it was released, no one was able to really get their hands on it and actually hold it in their hand to say, oh, wait, this is a comfortable size. Because when you look at it, I would not recommend the 12, the regular 12 over the mini in any scenario. It's cheaper. It's just as functional. The battery life is slightly better on the regular size 12, but not much. So I would rather just pay less money for the mini. But if someone actually held this in their hand and said, oh yeah, this does actually feel comfortable, I think this would have sold a lot better, because everyone who I've talked to who said this was too small got their hands on it, and then they suddenly loved it.
I'll see your theory and raise you a theory.
Raise me a theory.
I like your theory, and I will add upon that. They also split the release of these, which they've never really done before. And it was split over a month, and your common purchaser doesn't know about that. They just know the new iPhone is out. Oh, the new iPhone's out. Let me go order it. Oh, okay, there's two different ones. Okay, cool. They don't know that there's another two coming out a month or so later. So they've already made the decision. As a matter of fact, proof was almost in the pudding. I think the 12 Pro was the number one selling version for a while there. And I think it's because it was one of the first ones available. It's the 12 and the 12 Pro. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
If you want the bigger to small, you got to wait. So I think that and the store, which was really a good point. If you put those two things together, it maybe was unfair.
Yeah, no, I like your raised point there, because I didn't even think about that one.
Get ready, because I'm gonna raise both of your.
Oh no!
Oh, excellent points, but I have the alternate theory, and it kind of lines up with Matt's theory, which I think if I'm putting two and two together, it makes a ton of sense. I think the low sales, and Matt saying the stores are closed, and this makes my theory even better. I think it's because it's called the Mini, and just having that name. I think if they called it iPhone 12. And then if they called the other one iPhone 12 Max, and then the Pros, I think if they named it like that, I bet you the Mini would sell way more. I think people just see the name and they go, Mini, I don't want a small one. I want the regular size one. I can't use a small phone. But like Matt was saying, if you actually go in and start to use it, you go, oh, well, this phone's bigger than the 4.7-inch iPhones. Like, it's a bigger phone. So I'm saying they called it the Mini. It's a marketing mistake because people look at that and they're thinking like iPod Mini and they're like, oh my God, that's so small. I can't use that.
I thought they should have just had I'm not a fan of the 4-phone model. I don't think there's enough difference in between all like I think it should have just been 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max. I think that the regular 12 should never the current regular 12 should never have existed. And I fully love your idea of just calling the Mini just the 12.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's a good, it's a better, it's a best. And then I like that, but it's because like again, the 12 and the 12 Pro, really all you're getting there is the Pro Raw. And that's really the only big difference there.
I think the ultimate move, and I don't know if Apple will ever do this, is to get away from these other names and just have them in size classes. So you could have an iPhone 12, you have it in 5.4, 6.1, and then you have the iPhone 12 Pro, 6.1, 6.7. Now some of the phones have different features, like the Max has like a better sensor. So I don't know if you get away with that. But technically, if you buy like a 16-inch MacBook Pro, I mean, it has different stuff in it. So I think they should just name it by size rather than like, I don't know, the naming scheme, especially now with like Pro Max, it's getting a little like ridiculous.
Well, that's a whole other philosophical question that we could get into for next like 20 hours. But like naming schemes have gotten so muddy across the board for not just Apple, but like every tech company. Because whether it's like, oh, are they just gonna drop like, all right, look at the Xbox. What do you call the X? It's the Xbox right now, but it's the Series S, Series Y. Like, what do we call these things? Because we're just dropping. Is it 2014? Is it 2015? Is it like? I don't know why I said 2014. I don't know why I used years from 7 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
I don't know. But like the way that like the way we have these versions now of just like the product name in parentheses year is like. It's cleaner looking, but it's no less confusing as far as like I'm looking for a product, because when you go on like Amazon and try and type in a product that's like 3 levels of it, with the first thing that comes up is usually the older model because that's the one that has the most sales behind it. So it's naming schemes in general have just gotten so convoluted. And then like you look at Samsung, like, oh, this is the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G. Like, oh my God, what a horrible name.
Yeah. And especially now with like 5G being like the standard thing, I feel like Android manufacturers have to stop putting 5G at like the end of their phones. I'm sure it's some kind of like deal with like the telecoms where it's like, oh, put 5G at the end of it. We'll sell some more. But it's like at this point, it's like you really don't have to separate it and put 5G on it. It's like just call it the S21 Ultra. That's it. You're good. Listen, I think Sony had it right. You know, they nailed the PlayStation name. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you know, we should all take Sony's cue, except for their headphones, which are probably some of the worst name the WX53 1000.
It's terrible. So yeah, we're gonna we always try to respect our guest time as we're about ready to close out. Matt, why don't you tell everybody like where they can find you, as if they don't know where to find you, but you know, maybe on Twitter, maybe they don't know where to find you on Twitter. Tell them everywhere, all the things.
Yeah. So like we said earlier, I'm the co-host of This Is, so it's youtube.com/thisis. We talk about tech in like kind of a podcasty format, but not a podcast. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe us because like we said, we've been changing forever. I'm currently now looking up my Twitter handle because I don't know it. I couldn't remember like if I did. So it's Matt _Ansini. I couldn't remember how I did it. So, but yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. It's mostly just dumb tweets about, I don't know. You're not going to find a lot of profound stuff on my Twitter.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah.
that means if you're used to that, you're used to our Twitters as well. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a pretty
If
good
you're
match.
following me, I'm sure it's better than my Twitter. So give Matt a follow. It'll be more comprehensive. It'll be great. It'll be funny stuff, and I think it'll be the best Twitter follow you could do.
There you go. Yeah, I couldn't sell it better myself.
Kanye West, forget that. Replace it with Matt.
You shouldn't have started following Kanye West in the first place, but that's for another show, of course.
Soldier Boy, unfollow. Give Matt a follow.
That makes sense. If you need to make space, that's
maybe don't follow him for a month. Give Matt a try. Might be better.
Just for a month, though. Just for a month. Try him out
permanently. I'm going permanent.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna tell you something. That's heavy praise right there. Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us. Of course, next week. I guess we'll probably be back again because why not? We just do this every week just because we keep asking us to.
Maybe.
I mean, you never know. Listen, things can happen. Who knows? I'm not going to make any promises, but we made it this week. We're going to try and make it next week. So yeah, anyway, let's that should be enough. So let's get out of here. All right. He's Greg. I'm Travis. He's Matt. This is Gadget Cast. We'll see you next week. And we good. All right. Thanks everybody in the live stream. We appreciate you. No one question go this time because I actually have to go. I'm already 2 minutes over. But thank you guys for joining us live.
Travis lives such a busy life. He never has time for you, the fans.
It's the Playboy style. It's that Playboy style that I live.
I'm always here for you guys. Unlike Travis, he doesn't care.
This is BS. He does not have to. He doesn't want anything to do with any of that. He doesn't. But Matt does. Matt will be on his Twitter right after. He'll take all the questions, I think.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah. Just tell tweet at Matt. And then
hashtag I don't know.
Here's the challenge for GadgetCast listeners. Follow Matt, tweet at him who you dropped to follow.
Oh, there you go.
You gotta drop
one. That's so much pressure.
So you guys gotta drop. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna look at my list. I'm gonna cancel someone on my list. I'm gonna drop them. And I already followed Matt, but I'm gonna cancel someone just to be in solidarity with you. I'm gonna tweet who I canceled. If you follow Austin,
they're gonna know.
He's got a lot of followers. Maybe let's bring Austin down a little bit. Take one follower from him. Follow Matt. I think that's a good trade. MKBHD, he's got plenty.
I'm seeing the followers coming in right now.
There we go. Let's go.
Follow Matt over on Twitter, and then tweet at GadgetCast, tweet at Matt, tweet all of us at the same time. I want to know who you dropped. You got to drop someone. So let me know.
Drop somebody and jump on the Matt
train. Donald Trump doesn't have a Twitter space anymore, so Matt's game, similar account style, similar energy with the tweets, So I think it's good.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys next time. Peace and love.